Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome to Gnan Cloud Garage. In this session, I'm going to talk about how to get started with Zerto for Kubernetes Z4K by installing with Helm. Okay, and here is the agenda. So before we start installing the Zerto for Kubernetes, let's quickly recap our modern data protection solution architecture design for Kubernetes. Okay, and in this lab, we are using Azure Kubernetes service. Okay, and this Zerto platform, as we are aware, it is supported for a multiple Kubernetes platform. But once we familiar with the Azure Kubernetes service, the similar procedure we can do it in other Kubernetes platforms. Okay, enterprise grade Kubernetes platforms. So let's understand modern data production solution architecture design for Kubernetes. I explained in our previous session, but here I quickly recap. Within our solution architecture design, we highlighted our Zerto cluster key components. So our Zerto cluster key components highlighted in red color, and within the Zerto cluster, the main two components are Zerto Kubernetes Manager and key clock. Now we are going to install these two components and also the Zerto Kubernetes Manager PX, that means proxy. So proxy also we are installing on one of our AKS cluster. AKS means Azure Kubernetes Service Cluster. And we are also adding some plugins. Okay, that is our task now. Let's start with how to get started with the Zerto for Kubernetes Z4K by installing with Helm. So here in our lab, currently Helm itself has already been pre-installed, but we will need to add the Zerto repository before proceeding. Okay, but how we can add the Zerto repository means here are the steps. So start by adding the Zerto for Kubernetes repository with Helm. This is the command. So we need to type the command Helm repo means repository, add Zerto, and we have to provide the public URL. That is completely the it's automatically capture this repository from the internet, and make sure that if you are working on your own environment, make sure that our system have a internet access. Okay, to run this command. So we'll quickly run this command in our lab. Okay, let's log into our lab system. So let me select the full screen. This is our previous Kubernetes dashboard. Let me minimize this one and open our SSH session. And these commands are just for our easy understanding. Let me close, and here already I open. Okay, the first command is, this is the command Helm repository adding the Zerto from the website. So just copy this command and run it in our AKS cluster node. So just run. See, Zerto has been added to your repository. Okay, this is the result. And what is our second command? Let's back to the slide. And it clearly says that as a best practice, ensure we have latest version by running Helm repo update. Okay, so we can run the repository update command now. So again, go back to the lab and we can run the command Helm repo and update. Okay, now it will trying to update. So what is the result? Successfully got an update from Zerto chart repository. Update is complete. Okay, now second command is running successfully. Let's understand the third command. Let's create a new namespace into which we will install Zerto. Okay, so namespace we are going to create. The command is pretty straightforward. kubectl create namespace, and our namespace we are creating namespace is Zerto. Okay, so run the same command. We can run here kubectl create namespace space Zerto. So once we run this command, see the namespace Zerto is created. Okay, now another command. Before going to the another command, let's back to the slide and we try to understand the some basic points. So now we will install two key components. The key one is the key component one is in our architecture we already observed, that is Zerto Kubernetes Manager. And another component is Zerto Kubernetes Manager proxy, in short form ZKM-PX. Okay, and understand the importance of Kubernetes Manager. So ZKM is a global manager for all Zerto for Kubernetes sites within an account and manage the overall deployment, including cross-site replication. Even if you see in our architecture diagram, we have two clusters, production cluster and also the replica cluster or DR cluster. Within the two clusters, we have only one global manager. Okay, that point I highlighted here. And ZKM proxy is a more lightweight ZKM that is specific to just one site. Okay, even if you see in our previous diagram, we already observed that ZKM we have only in a each worker node have one proxy. Even that means within the cluster we need one proxy, and within DR cluster we need one proxy. And the Zerto cluster is common for both clusters, production and DR clusters. Okay, so hope you understand that point. ZPX is more lightweight, that's specific just to one site. When using multiple Z4K, Zerto for Kubernetes sites and clusters, we would only need one ZKM overall, but multiple proxies. So each cluster we need one proxy and one for each cluster. Okay. Now let's back to the another. This is the installation is with I explained in the 3 slides. This is the first slide. Now I'm going to the installation procedure, second slide. And here another key point is for installation, we can install both ZKM and ZKM proxy together simultaneously because we only have one cluster. Okay, it's a direct straight away point. If we have, if we already had a ZKM elsewhere, suppose in our environment, we would only need to install ZKM proxy. If you do not have, better to install ZKM and proxy together. Okay, and let's get started by editing the values and parameters used in installation with Helm. Okay, so if you want to install with the Helm, we need to install the value. There we are going to use a value.yaml file. Okay, so that file information I here. See the edit the install values by entering nano space values.yaml file. So nano is like a editor command. We can edit some values in this YAML file and mainly leave the image full secret at its default. So there is some secret code, that information we can leave it as it is. But if you are doing in your own environment, what Zerto recommending is we will need to acquire the secret from my Zerto download page. Okay, but in our lab it's already there, so we no need to modify any of the full secret. Okay, and another thing is we need to modify under the authentication section. We need to enter the username and password. That is one key point while editing the values.yaml file. Okay, and another key point is under config section, we need to enter our site ID. That site ID should be my Zerto for Kubernetes site. So in short form, Z4K site. This is our site information. And finally, we can save and quit the nano. Okay, so we can going to edit the nano values.yaml file now. So let's quickly jump into our jump host. So connected to the AKS node. So under the AKS cluster, excuse me, under the AKS cluster, now we can type the command nano space. Before running the command, just verify whether this file is available or not. When you run the list command, we can see there is a values.yaml file. Okay, so this file only we are going to edit now. So nano space values.yaml file. So once we run this command, there is a image full secret, and in the below you can see all the shortcut keys. If you want to insert any information, there is a keys are available here. Okay, and we even if you want to paste or anything, that lines are available. Either you can use the nano or sometimes you can also use VA also. Suppose if I am just escaping key is X. Let me exit. Okay, suppose I am trying to use VA also can. So VA space values.yaml. Okay, even values command we can see it is saying that Okay, modified yes, username is root. So if you want to edit anyway, we need to press E. Okay, so there is a image secret, we no need to change anything, and already there is a admin user is lab user, and there is a password. So and we can enter only the management user. So if you want to enter, just insert and we can enter the management user detail. Let's say management user detail, I'm entering as administrator, and the password will use the same password. Let's say Zerto labs. Okay, I'm using the same password, and we have to remember the management user is administrator and the password is default password. Okay, and apart from that, they recommend to enter the site ID. So just come to the site ID. We need to enter the site ID details. So site ID details, as per the recommendation in the slide, they recommend to keep as my Z4K site. So we can use the same name, my Z4K site. That is our site ID. So in order to save and quit, just escape colon WQ and you can exclamation mark. This will W means save, Q means quit. So now press enter. Okay. Again, if you want to verify these values, you can type the command cat space values dot YAML file. Now enter. If you see here, our administrator password details are okay and site ID is also updated. Okay, so as per the recommendation in installation instructions, we followed the secret, we haven't modified, we just modified under authentication section. We updated the username and password. Under config section, we modified the site ID. Okay, and finally we save and quit. And instead you can use either Nano or you can use VI editor. Okay, so I used a VI editor. Okay, so this is the second slide of installation instructions. Now I'm going to the next slide. Another key point now is now install Zerto for Kubernetes, and this is the command. So let's understand the command. We just now modified the values.yaml file. Using this file only we are installing. So command is helm install Zerto for Kubernetes Zerto slash Z4K -f. Forcibly we are running this YAML file, and hyphen namespace is Zerto under this Zerto namespace. Okay, this is a straight away command. So back to our lab system and copy the command for installation. So helm install command. You can better take the full screen and copy the command, copy and open the SSH session and run it here. Okay, when you run it here, it will start running the installation. So installation may take 2 to 3 minutes time to finish. Let me retype whether it is running or not. Okay, so cannot reuse the a name that is still in use. Okay, that means it's already in progress. So let's go back to the slide. Let me see the instruction. See, installation should be fully complete in about 2 minutes, and we can check the progress with these commands. Either you can run kubectl get deployment -n Zerto command, or you can run kubectl get pods -n Zerto. So any one command we can run. So let's test the one of the command. So let me copy the command here and run it in our SSH session. So type the command, enter. See, if you see in our deployment in Zerto, currently it is showing as Z4K ingress nginx controller is installed, and also we have a Z key clock. That means this is for a IDM, And also we have a ZKM, that is for Zerto Kubernetes Manager, and we have a database and we have a proxy. Okay, all are running. And we'll try to verify the another command also. So kubectl get pods -n Zerto. Let's copy and run it in our SSH session. So now enter. So here we can see all our parts information. If you see currently 2 are completed and remaining are running. So we may need to wait for a while to complete the installation. Okay, it is running. Let's back to the slide again. And another instruction is, let's wrap things up by installing Zerto plugin for kubectl. If you want to add the plugin, so the plugin will enable much easier syntax when interacting with Zerto from command line interface. Get starting with, we need to run this wget. This is the command to run the adding the plugins. Okay, let's run the plugins also. So copy the command from our notes, just copy and run it here. So I think maybe we need to wait for a while to finish the installation. Okay, pod initializing is in progress. Okay, we can keep monitor the status. I'm just clearing the screen and rerunning that command. Okay, maybe it may take a while. Okay, in the meantime, let's verify the other options. See, then when we run this command, they are recommending to run the change permissions modification on this path kubectl-zerto. And so instead of kubectl-zrt, let's try to type the Zerto. Okay, we'll see whether it will work or not. Okay, now okay, within our site, they didn't find this path actually. Okay, okay, we'll quickly check in our direct site. It is showing access is denied. Okay, let me retry again. We'll quickly verify the deployment status. Okay, deployment is up to date only, available is okay. See, all the Zerto components are installed, architecture components. Okay, so now quickly back to the slide. Plugin is not unable to found in this URL. Okay, so let me try again. Let me remove the hyphen and try. Okay, it is not able to detect the no such file or directory. Okay, let's leave this command. And another point is to view the summary, simply run kubectl zrt. Okay, let me try without plugin whether this command able to pull the information or not. Okay, zrt is unable to detect. Okay, so it's fine. But in our official documentation only, I just gathered this information. Okay, let's leave this command. We'll try the another one is, see, to quick summary of Zerto installer information, we can run these commands kubectl get all -n Zerto. Okay, we'll run this command now. So the last command is, this is the one. Plugin command, somehow it's not working. Maybe we can, the documentation is not updated, I think. Okay, when we run this command, let me copy again and clear the screen. Okay, kubectl get all -n Zerto. It is showing the complete summary of all our deployment status. Okay, see job, everything is okay. Completion is completed and the duration it takes 7 seconds and overall age is 9 minutes. Okay, replica set, all the information is completed state. Okay, Z4K completed and also the key clock is completed and remaining components all are the key manager, all the pods are running state. Okay, so we successfully completed the Zerto for Kubernetes by installing with Helm. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you. And if you are watching this video first time, please do view, like, share, and subscribe to my channel, NAND Cloud Garage. If you are already subscribed, I appreciate all your support. Bye for now.